your reaction when you look at that video and you see that massive explosion. I know you've seen it yourself from your own sources, but we're showing it to the world now. In that moment of an explosion, hundreds of people die. How do you react to that?
So first of all, if we look at this entire war that we're looking at right now, even if we go back to the very beginning, it was this senseless massacre of Israeli civilians. In this case, it's Gazan civilians that were massacred once again by Hamas and Islamic Jihad. The loss of any civilian, man, woman, or child, wherever they are in the world, is an enormous tragedy. However, when I see that video, what I understand once again is how Hamas is trying to play the entire world. It goes back to the ISIS playbook. They committed that atrocity. It was their rocket. We've clearly proven this to the world. And yet Hamas right away, without having any proof whatsoever, announced to the world that it was Israeli. And the world ran with this in the media. And my question is, and our question is, how could the world take Hamas as a credible source when we saw them massacring men, women, and babies just over a week ago? This was Hamas. It has their fingerprints on it. It is them who shot this rocket.
Major, I know that you have put out, what Israel says is the proof of this, the intercepted communications, where you have people directly saying that this landed on the hospital. You have that. You've put that out. You've also put out your trajectories. I'm sorry, I was looking for the right word. Trajectory of rockets that were coming out and showing that 450 rockets fired by jihadist groups in Gaza have misfired and landed in Gaza since this war began 12 days ago. Major, just a very simple question. Do you feel confident that every single rocket coming out of Gaza, every single one, that you know where it's coming from and obviously generally where it's going because of your Iron Dome, do you feel that you have 100% visibility?
So first of all, what I can tell you is 100%. Every rocket coming out of Gaza is aimed at innocent Israeli civilians. Not a single one of them is aimed at a military target. They're aimed at our cities. They're aimed at mothers and fathers and children having breakfast in their home. They're aimed at hundreds of thousands and millions of Israelis who are constantly under attack. That is where those rockets are aimed. We have invested a ton of resources, higher than any other location in the entire world, in trying to pinpoint rockets and trying to disable them. That's where my tax dollars go. In the Gaza Strip, their funds and their tax dollars and the money they get from Iran is going into rockets, not into protecting their civilians. That is the enormous moral divide between Israel, who is concerned with its own civilians, and Hamas, who kill Israeli civilians, and at the same time put their own civilian units. This was clearly a Hamas Islamic Jihad was fired at 6:59. You don't need us to talk about it. I'm holding up this piece of paper. This is an Al Jazeera screenshot. Al Jazeera was running live. Now, no one is going to say that Al Jazeera are going to be marching in any parades on behalf of the state of Israel or that they're Zionists. Al Jazeera on live footage showed the rocket taking off from Gaza, showed the explosion. Just around the same time, just a minute or two before, Hamas went out and claimed to the world that this was an Israeli attack. There were no Israeli weapons firing in that area whatsoever. We released audio footage of two Hamas terrorists speaking between themselves in Arabic, in which they acknowledge that they realize it's a rocket of Islamic Jihad that landed on the hospital. This is the fingerprint of Hamas and Islamic Jihad. They're one of the ones who committed this, and what I can be 100% sure about is that they will never tell you the truth if they shot this on their own civilians.
Major, I want to be very clear though from what you're saying, because I don't want to hear something that you're implying that you may not be trying to imply. But when you say that Al Jazeera was broadcasting live, the sort of implication some might take away was that was this intentional, or are you trying to say this was intentional in any way, or is your view is the idea that this was fired by Islamic Jihad, but you do believe that it was accidental?
No. What we are saying is that this was fired by Islamic Jihad towards Israel to kill Israeli civilians. If you follow the course of the rocket, you can see that it malfunctions very soon after takeoff. It lands almost a few hundred, maybe a kilometer or a few hundred yards from where it was took off. And because the fuel was in the engine, still because it had not reached its target in Israel to kill Israeli civilians, the blast was enormous. We also can confirm by that audio conversation between the two Hamas operatives that they're saying, one is saying to the other, it was fired fired by Islamic Jihad in the cemetery behind the hospital. And the other one was asking, are you sure? He says, yes, and it landed on top of the hospital. Meaning, take Israel out of the picture. You have Al Jazeera footage. You have Hamas operatives discussing this. We know from our own radar the trajectory of the rocket. This was a Hamas and Islamic Jihad rocket. What I don't understand is when it comes to Israel and we claim that babies were beheaded and bodies were mutilated, the whole world asks us to prove this. We have to go to enormous strides to try to prove what the civilians. Here in Gaza, when Islamic Jihad bombs their own citizens, people take this without any proof whatsoever. The double standard here is incredibly upsetting for us on the Israel side.
All right, Major, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Major Doron Spellman joining us. Poppy.
Aaron, thank you very much.
Well, a live look in Tel Aviv where President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are set to deliver remarks shortly behind the scenes, very consequential meetings right now. Stay with us.
What's yellow?
Oh, Schwann's Home Delivery has a new name. It's like a freezer full of happy.
Happy like this? Yeah!
Oh.
More options, easier ordering. Now at yellow.com.
Have like 40 years of data.
The real truth about the rocket that hit the Palestinian hospital in the Gaza Strip, October 12th, 2023. A song by Paul Beckman, Polly Rainbow song. Also the new and first leader of humankind and the free world. The real truth about the rocket that hit the hospital. The real truth about the rocket that hit that Palestinian hospital. You just heard it right here. Rewind the video so you can hear. You'll find adequate explanation, a solution. Introducing the real facts. The real facts, the truth, the real facts, that's what you need to adequately know what's going on. Rewind the video to see what I just heard and saw and noticed was being spoken about by authority in the know, while emotions got ahead of reason and sparked confusion and mass gatherings across the world, that erred and became violent for no reason because they were lied to by the very side who did the deed. Rewind the video and you will see. That was a song by Paul Beckman, Paul Rainbow Song, also the new and first leader of humankind in the free world. For an explanation of my old age, my mainstream name, new age name, Paul Beckman, Paul Rainbow Song, also the utterance of, also by the new and first leader of humankind in the free world, please go to Internet Solutions and Songs 24-7 at Palu Rainbow Song bio on YouTube. Look for a playlist called Movie Song Reviews by Palu. On there, look for a category of videos and song videos entitled A Special Note. Watch those and you'll get a full explanation plus more. Thank you.